Hey everybody, this is Jared from ProPhoto. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to use the shipping functionality for the ProPhoto Proofing plugin. Just a brief note before I get started. This video is made during the public beta period, so that means that if you're viewing it some number of days or weeks after, things may have changed somewhat. I expect that the basic functionality will remain more or less intact, but the plugin is evolving fairly rapidly while we're still in the beta period, so things may be a little bit different and improved, and the UI may be modified a little bit. So before I get into explaining how proofing works, I just want to briefly sort of say that we designed the proofing shipping options in such a way as to try to accommodate a really wide variety of requirements and needs that you guys express to us related to shipping. We have customers in many different countries, and we have many different styles of businesses and preferred workflows, and some of you, when we tried to gather feedback about shipping, we got lots and lots of unique indications of your preferences. It would have been easier if you had all sort of said that you wanted the same thing, but there was really a wide variety. So we wrestled with that for a while. What we tried to come up with was a relatively easy to use but quite flexible system that hopefully allows just about everybody to get pretty close to what they would envision as their ideal workflow or just settings and configuration with regard to shipping. So if you'll just kind of try to take a few minutes to understand how we set it up and how it's customizable and layerable and individually modifiable for each proofing gallery, I think you'll find that you should be able to set it up in a way that works pretty close to exactly the way that you had hoped. And of course, we're always trying to improve it, so if there's something we've left out or some major scenarios that we need to add, we will probably be doing those in the days and weeks to come. Okay, so to actually show you proofing shipping options, I want to start by showing you some global shipping settings, and those are going to be under the proofing settings customization area down here, or you can go to proofing settings. And then if you click on the shipping tab, you'll see some customization options related to shipping. These are global customization options, the ones I'm about to show you in this area. They're global in the sense that you're making customizations to your shipping functionality that will potentially affect all of your proofing galleries. In just a minute after I explain these option areas, I'm going to show you how you individually layer these and other options on a per gallery basis. So there's kind of a combination of global shipping options, and then there's a per gallery implementation that will be pretty clear in a few minutes when I show it to you. So first I want to show you kind of, actually, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else first. I want to just run over to proofing products and just show you. Now the UI for this may be changing shortly, but all these same things will be here. The first and most basic thing related to shipping is that each product has an optional per unit shipping amount. So here I set up 20 cents for a 3x4 and 30 cents for a 4x6, so on and so forth. Getting into some of my heavier made-up products, $15 to send a big gallery wrap, etc., etc. You can, for each individual product, you can set up per item, per instance shipping costs. Now, you don't have to. You can make it, if you want to make your 3x4s free to ship as many as they want, you can leave that blank, and you can just set it up so your heavier items incur a per item shipping cost. It's totally up to you. If you don't want to use per item shipping amounts and you just want to charge a flat fee, you can do that as well, and we'll show you how to do that. Or if you want to calculate it by the total cost of the order, you can do that as well. But this is sort of the most granular level. You have the option to set a shipping amount per item, and that's over here in proofing products. Now if we go back to proofing settings, where I was just a moment ago, and go to shipping, we have, first of all, the top area is shipping methods and multipliers. Shipping methods is the terminology we're using to describe things like first class, second class, medium mail, overnight, courier, carrier pigeon, personal delivery, whatever you can think of, just methods for shipping. These are going to vary country by country and vary user by user based on what you prefer to use in terms of shipping. And so these will default to be blank, but you can add in as many as 4 of them. And here I show first class, second class, medium mail as some potential example shipping methods. Now, if you want to ship all your items the exact same way and you don't want to give options, you can just leave all these blank and ignore them. Almost everything I'm showing you in this video, if this particular idea doesn't make sense to you or you don't want to use it, they're all optional. And so you can use the ones you want and skip the ones you don't, and then you can sort of layer them together to make it work well for you. So anyway, if you do set up shipping methods, then you can also set these shipping multipliers. And how this works is this allows you to calculate like a dynamic price based on a shipping method. And it works by percentage. So in this example, I'm showing that I've set up that the user will be able to select first class. And if they do, then we are going to multiply the shipping amount by 130%. So functionally add 30% if they choose first class. Second class I set to 100%, which means it's no modification based on the regular shipping amounts. And then medium mail I set to 80%, which amounts to functionally a 20% discount off of shipping costs if they choose that. So what this allows you to do is offer multiple methods of shipping and make a flexible way to have ProPhoto Proofing, increase or decrease the shipping amount based on what they choose. So that's shipping methods and multipliers. And that's one way you can sort of exercise granular control over the shipping. Below that is this total cost shipping table. This is another option, again, which you don't have to use if you don't want to, and you can use it in certain galleries and not in others. But this allows you to set up basically a table with like 4, for lack of a better term, slices. And then if you enable this shipping cost table on a particular gallery, what it does is it'll add up the total price of the order without shipping, and then see which slice it falls into. So for the example I've shown here, if somebody fills out an order between $0 and $50, say it's $25 total, then you can set that to automatically add $10 of shipping. And so in this way you can create these sort of customizable slices of shipping costs, where you can say, look, if the entire order is between X and X amount, I want to charge this amount, and maybe you increase as the orders go up, maybe you decrease and reward people for buying more, and add less or add nothing when you get above a certain level. So these are customizable. You can change these amounts and change the price which is added for each one. So that's total cost shipping tables. Finally, the third item down here is this large input area, which is labeled countries and country multipliers. What this is in this area you get to select which countries you are willing to ship to. So you might be willing to ship all over the world if that makes sense for your business, in which case you can click select all and then save, and then they'll be able to choose in the checkout shipping form from any country and designate that. Or if you really only makes sense you're only going to ship inside the country that you live in, then you can just check one of these and be done. We think some of you, based on your feedback, will likely ship to maybe a handful of countries. So let's say you're in the US and you're willing to ship to the United States and Canada as a common scenario. You can select both of those. Now, if you saved that, the users, when they're checking out, will be able to select their country, United States or Canada. Country multipliers work sort of like the multipliers for the shipping methods, but they apply to specific countries. So again, in my scenario, if I'm in the United States, but I also occasionally ship to Canada, it might be more expensive to ship, to a different country. And so what I can do is I can come here and I can click this Canada box and set a specific multiplier for Canada. So now I'm going to charge 25% more for all the Canadians who purchase, and save. And so when they're checking out. If they choose Canada, ProPhoto is going to do an internal calculation behind the scenes and say whatever shipping cost we created or we added up, we're going to add 25% because you chose Canada. And this allows you to kind of control your costs and ship to multiple countries and sort of come up with a pretty good guesstimate of what your actual shipping costs will be. Just like the other multipliers, these can also be less than 100, which is functionally a discount for certain countries. That might make sense for some people, or it might not. And these are totally optional, but if you want to set them, you can. So I'm going to leave this up here about 125, and I'll save those changes. So now that I've shown you the global options, let me show you how these get implemented. And to do that, I'm going to go and go to the edit or create screen for one of my ProPhoto galleries. So here's a ProPhoto gallery screen, and down at the bottom there's a shipping box which allows you to do a bunch of things. And this is kind of where you actually are choosing the implementation for this specific gallery. The first item over here is whether to enable or disable individual product shipping. So the very first thing I showed you, where for each product you could set a per item cost, that might make sense on certain types of galleries, maybe weddings, but you don't want to do it with seniors or whatever. Basically, you can disable this for just the gallery, and then those per item costs won't apply whatsoever, or you can leave them enabled. Same sort of idea with the total cost shipping table. That's the shipping table option I showed you a few minutes ago, where you have slices of shipping costs. And if that makes sense for certain galleries, you can click to enable these, or if you don't want it on this specific gallery, you can disable these. Same as well with enabled shipping methods. If you've created shipping methods, you'll see checkboxes for each one. And some of these you might, a certain type of gallery, you might only want to offer one or two or none of these, or maybe all of them. And you get to decide that on a per gallery basis by selecting those checkboxes. So these things can be mixed and matched in various orders. You can have, in various combinations, you can have individual product shipping plus total cost shipping plus shipping methods, or you can have any combination of, only one or two of them, or all three of them, or none of them. And that way you can sort of, as I mentioned before, layer your shipping options on a per gallery basis. Coming down to the second row, we have some other items which aren't global options at all, but allow you to, again, fine-tune your shipping costs for individual galleries. One of them is you can set a minimum shipping fee, so you can just say, hey, for this gallery, no matter what it all adds up to, it has to be at least $5. And that way, ProPhoto will do the whole calculation, and at the very end, it'll check, hey, is it less than $5? If so, it'll bump it up to $5, or if it's more, it'll just leave it what it is. So that's a minimum shipping fee. Works just about how you would guess. You can also have just a simple added flat fee, which is sort of functions like every order that's made gets charged this one amount. So some people just want to do that, and they might disable every other option and just say, for this gallery, I'm going to charge a $10 shipping fee across the board, and they can remove every other option. Or again, these can be layered on. You can have a base flat fee plus individual product shipping, which maybe allows you to add a bit more cost for your heavier items. Or you can do this plus a total cost shipping table, etc. Finally, there is a order overall shipping multiplier, which is just sort of for lack of a better term, like a volume knob for this individual gallery. If you want a certain gallery to, if you want to charge more for shipping, you can crank this up and say, right here I have it set for 150%. So that's basically saying that all your basic shipping calculations, turn them up by 50%, so you can increase it. You can, charge more for certain types of galleries or charge less for other galleries. A quick word about all the multipliers I've been explaining. I just want to let you know that behind the scenes, the multipliers aren't cumulative, meaning if you have, let's say, you had a first-class shipping method that somebody chose, which was 150%, and then you have a 150% overall shipping multiplier here. They're not cumulative. Like ProPhoto doesn't multiply by 150% and then take that larger number and multiply it by 150%. It uses sort of the pre-multiplier total and then keeps adding little bits of added or subtracted value based on your multipliers. Hopefully that makes sense. And the minimum fee is added last, as I mentioned. So for each gallery, you can just dial these in, and then the shipping cost will be calculated behind the scenes, and if they get handed off to PayPal, it'll be shown as shipping and handling. And when the orders come in, you'll see things like, shipping cost right here. And so that's how shipping cost works.